Hey, okay. Well, officially welcome to the art class. This is exciting. Scott, did you bring a reference photo today?
A photo like the one you're showing?
Yeah, like a photo of yourself or a photo that you're fond of. It doesn't have to be with you specifically, but a photo that you would be interested to draw it and paint it.
Okay. Yeah, I got something.
That was quick. That's amazing. Well, today I wanted to really start this class from like the bottom up instead of, just talking about the canvas or how do you come up with ideas or like, let's just start in the sketchbook. How do we actually form an idea in the sketchbook working with a reference photo? And then from there, you can build up to potentially maybe taking it on canvas or on a bigger piece of paper. But how I do things, and this is not the only way to do it. I've seen artists do all kinds of techniques prepping for the big art piece. So I almost always work with a reference photo. I either have an old photo or I build my reference photo, which means I take photos of subjects, of people, I set the stage, take the photo, and then I work from that photo. It's just how my brain has worked. And once I have the photo, I can actually start sketching some of these images over and over again. And the reason I personally do this is I understand what I'm actually having to deal with once I've migrate from small piece of paper to like a big canvas. So we'll start, as you can see here, I do little thumbnails like this over and over and over again. I love them. I think they're cute. There's something really pleasing to have these tiny thumbnails, but they help because this size, and you can see my pencil is not that big. So the thumbnail is not actually, hold on. Let me switch because you probably can't see the screen, correct? Am I correct?
I can.
You can
Yeah,
see
I
the,
can. No, I can see it. I've
okay.
got I've got the gallery view open, so I see me, you, in the sketchbook.
Okay. Okay. There you go. So the sound comes from my phone that's actually filming. So I wonder, do you hear me better from my phone by any chance?
Uh, it. I mean, it's fine. I don't really notice a difference, to be honest. But
Okay, just
yeah,
curious. I was okay. So this tiny thumbnail has given me the opportunity to actually understand quickly where the grass is, where the sky is, without me overthinking details. I think a lot of us get really stuck into how can we get the nose right? Or how can we get the leg right? Like, that's not the point. The point is like, do we understand where all these objects sit in this frame? So that's why I usually start with like a really small thumbnail and then I build my way up to like a bigger thumbnail. So let's kind of switch to a different piece of paper. Um, and I usually print my reference photos because it gives me the opportunity to measure one, to maybe form a scale, kind of figure out where the middle of this image is. So I draw a line in the middle. Roughly, this is the middle over here. So this is my idea of how I can find some of only these objects in this segment. That's my main focus. And then I focus on this side, and then this side, and this side. Again, this is one way to do it. Some people are just really good at like looking at something and duplicating it on paper. I'm not. So I draw, and we're only first gonna start with drawing, not painting or anything. We're just gonna do like maybe 3 or 2 reference drawings, quick sketches from the photo. So I start with my frame. I put my X in the middle, and then I'll focus on this side the most for now. I can see that there's this much distance between my mother's head, and there's a little bit of sky on this side. There's a little cloud. There's some trees. Um, there's part of a head. There's a shoulder. There's an arm. So I quickly established where some of these objects are on this side. Then I go to this side. There's a neck. There's the full arm. There's a building, some trees, a big pine, another building. Then my head comes into frame. Um, and my shoulder, this side goes all the way to like the side of my sleeve. There's a little bit of neck. And this is not supposed to be perfect. It's just as quickly as possible that we can get the information down and not stress about it. My mom's dress is poking on both sides. Roughly my mom, one leg is in one side, one leg is on the other side. And my feet seem to be in parallel with my mom's feet. So that's something to take note of. Um, I think one of the biggest mistakes I used to do in the past when it came to drawing is like I said, I fixated on details and not enough about mapping things out. Um, and that's why you do so many preliminaries over and over again. So you just get accustomed to what you want to eventually paint or really draw on a big piece of paper, like a graphite art piece. Usually, if I jump to straight into a painting, like a large one, I am doomed for mistakes. I don't know about how you are, Scott, but I need to
I
plan.
yeah, I got to be small. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why, but if I get too big in scale, I just it just loses all of its perspective, and it doesn't look, the values don't look right, the dimensions don't. I mean the distances don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes somehow just painting on small, like 4x6 or 5x7s or something, um, just helps me keep things in a better perspective.
Yeah. Do you ever scale an image that you work from, or does that seem to be helpful?
Uh,
If
do I take something larger to smaller or smaller to larger?
Yeah, like you see how I have the X in the middle of the
Yeah.
drawing? That kind of helps me understand where things are roughly.
Yeah, that's helpful. Actually, I was watching, attended a couple of sketching classes last week on Substack, and I learned a few things that I didn't think about before. And that girl had done a lot with her um, pencil, for scale. She would take a
Mm-hmm.
reference photo and get it with her
Yep.
thumb and then transform that to the paper, and I found
Yeah.
that to be quite helpful.
Very much. And that's when things are happening, and I mean actually it's the same thing on pieces of paper. If you're looking at a person or if you're looking at the paper, I can go to my mom's face right now and I measure from the tip of the pencil all the way to her chin, and this is how much her face would be in comparison to transferring that size. And 100%, That would be an easy way um, to do it. But let's say if you wanted to do this image larger and you're measuring with your pencil, let's say you want it 4 times bigger, then her head, whatever you measured, you just times it 4 times.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
what she
it.
was doing on hers too. So
Yeah.
I found that to be very beneficial little tip. Of course, I mean
Hmm.
that's how she learned in school, I assume.
Yep, yep. It's the basics of just like how do you figure this out and quickly put it down. Um, One other way to look at this image, besides sketching it like this, the way I did it, is looking at shadows and lights.
Hmm.
So if you look at my image and you squint, what are some of the things that pop out the most? It's like the darks, I would assume. At least that's
Yeah,
what I see. Okay,
yeah, like the
so
trees in the background and the shadows under their feet.
exactly. So what I do, I focus on just putting the shadows down just to like see. So, and it looks like you're almost blacking it out, and that's okay. Again, this is a sketch, but it's just training your brain, or it's teaching your brain about this image as much as possible. So, I see a shadow over here. And I constantly squint, and I do this even in live situations. Like, what is the first? Like, I squint, and if the lights and the darks pop, those are the darks I put first, and then the lights I put second. Like that. And you see, I mean, with such little things that I just did, it makes the sketch already like, oh, that's what's happening. There's
Yeah.
two people, there's some background, there's something. And that was without me stressing, oh my God, is the nose put into place? Like, is the hair in the right place? So, so yeah, that's the first sketch. And I love it. So we're just gonna leave it like that. Um, we have enough information for this one. So we'll just do the exact same thing next to it and just repeat. We'll just practice this image over and over again. Also, can I see your image too, just because I'm so curious? Is that your wife?
My mom.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she passed away in 2007, but
Well,
uh
she's a hottie.
so and just for reference, I got this in this acrylic holder and using a watercolor um pencil in white, I can do the
Ooh.
grids work on here, and then of course it just rubs right off.
Huh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have those watercolor pencils too, and I find them very useful and versatile. They're pretty fun. And they're quick too. You can bring them anywhere with you and do all kinds of stuff. Okay, let me grab another pencil. Let's see. I'll do the same thing where I just divide. Um, there's just a lot of things happening in this photo, and eventually, um, as I'm getting closer to understanding, I don't have to be so rough and abrasive with the drawing. I can start putting things a little bit lighter so I can kind of work the image. So I'll be more gentle this time instead of having this really rough and like rough sketch. Um, there's there's a cloud over here. I'm finding the top of my mother's head. I'm finding uh, the top of my head, roughly, and my shoulders, my mother's shoulders. Um, and it is easier to work with the same scale for the beginning. I think uh, increasing the scale of an image complicates things up front when you're learning how to draw. Um, so just working with that size is good enough. This is another way. What I'm doing, I'm just drawing lines as to where things should roughly be. So I'm just acknowledging them. I'm also going horizontally and vertically. So where my mom's hands roughly are, the distance between my mother and I. That's awesome. You also picked an image with your mom. Then if the dress is roughly here, then my mom's knees are here, which means my hands are underneath my mom's. You see, really quick. I'm
Yep.
actually just always drawing a line, like figuring out where things align with each other. So my hand is underneath my mom's hand. So I'm just noting that if her hand's right here, my hand's over here too.
Right.
Yeah. And then there you go. My dress is below my mom's. What are some things that are challenging for you when it comes to drawing?
Typically water control.
Water control. Mm-hmm.
Um, I tend to seem to make my paper so wet that by the time it's done, it's about 45 dimensions instead
Oh
of
no.
I don't know. Just one of those things.
Um, I think, well, in that case, we will play with this sketch. We'll we'll overdo it with water, maybe. Let's see how we can push it to that extreme.
Well, it could not be me. It could just be the paper or something too, I guess.
Does the paper seem like it's breaking?
No, well, no, but sometimes it does sort of pill a little bit, like unravel.
Mm-hmm. It might be not heavy enough to withstand the water that you're giving it. But what you can do in those situations, if you feel like it is too much water, you can take a paper towel, just like slowly damp it, release it, and then just let it dry a little bit. Take a break, go grab a coffee, whatever, and then come back to it. Watercolor is very forgiving to the point of where it's too wet. But if you just give it a little bit of time to draw, uh, did I say right? To draw?
Yeah, to dry.
Okay. To dry, then you can start working it again. The only thing you can't do when it's mid dry, you can't draw over it with a pencil or yeah, it's too soft, and then it'll definitely like ruin the paper. But now I'm gonna quickly put the information down more gentle, and then we can start watercoloring this exact one as a sketch watercolor, not a final, just how do we put the colors down? There you go. Feet. Maybe the foot should be here. There you go. Have you ever put your paintbrush in your coffee instead of the water?
It's funny you say that though, because as I put my coffee cup down beside the water up here ahead of me, I was just thinking, oh my goodness, how long is it
Mhm.
going to be before I do that?
Oh yes, I've actually done that and not noticed it for a really long time, and then I kept sipping my coffee. I was like, "There's something so odd about it," and I still wasn't sharp enough to notice it. I told them at the coffee shop that there's something wrong with this coffee. They gave me a new one because they were super nice. I come back, this coffee tastes delicious, and then like I continued to do the same damn thing, and then I finally like, oh my god, it's like,
Wasn't their coffee? It was just you, huh?
no, I was the problem, not them.
But no, I'm forever doing stuff like that. When I used to smoke, I would inadvertently, not thinking about it, stick my cigarette in a beer bottle,
Oh no.
and then not knowing I did that, would take a drink from the beer bottle.
You're like, oh, so you kind of did the same thing, just slightly different. Just a different substance. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, I promise ashes and beer do not mix well.
I'm sure there's a very bitter taste to it. Okay, we're learning. Doo, 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 doo. Okay, roughly flowers. Let's see. Building. Mm, So quickly, 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 quickly. A house over here. Okay. Shadow goes between my legs. Well, my mom's legs, mine not so much. Uh, Perfect. So the pad that I have that I'm drawing on is a um acrylic
Oh,
paper. So
yeah,
it's not as heavy as one of
watercolor.
watercolors, but it's pretty resilient and it does really well too. So this will not hold a ton of water, but I mean to the degree that a watercolor piece of paper would, but um yeah, there's all kinds of cool papers that you can the the heavier it is, the more expensive it is, and so on. Okay, I'm gonna roughly put the colors down. So in the same concept of just quickly sketching, I'm also sketching the colors. And I'm not focusing on details, I'm just mapping things out. I'm gonna grab myself a dark green. My palette is over here too, if you can kind of see it.
Yep.
Let's see. Dark enough? Yeah, it's pretty dark and it's doing its job. So I'm not focusing on trees. I'm focusing, you see over here between my head and the frame, I look for this shape. So that's the shape I'm gonna put down. That's that's the only shape I'm gonna try to, there you go. And then there's some green over here. There's green over here. My head. My mom's hand is in between mine. So I stop there. There's a lot of dark underneath my mom's hand. So I'm gonna map that one out. Also, really fun to paint with is gouaches as well. Very
Yeah, I've got a
friendly.
set of gouache I haven't even opened um, over here that I was one of these days I'll open up and experiment with.
We can do it together some other time. We can maybe like do a gouache next class. Pick another reference photo, maybe like a landscape or something, and really just focus on like playing with the colors, doing a color palette, see what you have available. Doing color palettes always is helpful to know like what you're working with. Um, okay, you see how I'm just going through here? I'm acknowledging that there's a tiny house kind of
Yeah.
poking through there you go, and the trees. Ta-da. Now, the green in the grass, not the shadows, but just the grass itself, is a little bit lighter than the background. So I'll just do it a little bit lighter. I paint around the shadow because we're now addressing the shadow. And for you, because you're doing a more of a portrait instead of like a full body or like where details are smaller, when you look at their faces, try to find the shadows on their face as shapes rather than like, oh, I'm drawing a nose or I'm drawing an eye. But uh, like as you can see here, my mom's face, I'm not gonna draw her eyes, but I'm gonna paint the shadow underneath her chin. I'm gonna paint this side of the shadow of her face and maybe some dots for her eyes, which are shadows. Okay. There you go. Mhm. Okay, a little bit of pink. Mm, perfect. Putting in the shadow from the feet. There you see, I think working from this place makes things a little bit easier. Just one of my teachers in college said that um, when you're having trouble looking at something, stop looking at them like it's an arm or a leg, but try to find the shadow in it and then stop giving it the idea that it's an arm or like a face and look for shapes, triangles, squares, anything to like help you put that information down. And when I had that click in my head, I instantly was able to draw way better and quicker. Okay, let's look at legs, arms. Mhm. How's it going over there?
Good.
No?
Yeah.
There you go. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Are you working with a dried watercolor palette or from tubes?
Yeah, I'm working with a what is this Koi Koi brand watercolor. It's like one of their.
Hmm.
There's probably 24 in here, so it's got a pretty good palette, so to speak. I did a
Very good.
swatch card, so
Oh, I love it.
it's uh it's not any bigger than my watercolor paper. I mean, it's like I don't know, 6 by 8 or something. Maybe this palette. I don't know. Looks like
Yeah, I have this one too, like a tiny little one. Tick.
looks like this.
A little bit. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I know that one. It's a good one. I
Yeah,
have
this
this.
is that's the brand. Oh, I can't show it to you that way. That's the brand.
Yes, that's a good one. It's a good brand. I have this tiny one. This is goes with me everywhere, and then I have the more from the tubes I pour in here, and uh those have I have more variety in colors. But sometimes you don't need a lot of colors. So
This one was found. I was doing a blacksmith residency over in North Carolina a couple
mm-hmm.
years ago, and the room that they put me in uh, to stay for that residency was someone who had stayed in that room prior to me. Apparently, they left it in the nightstand,
Awesome.
and so it kind of piqued my interest.
Yeah. I love stuff like that. I one of the watercolor palettes I have is from like the 1950s. One of my family friend's daughter passed away and she was an artist, so she gave me all her art supplies.
Ah,
So like that one has so many colors and it's so well built compared to like some of the things that we get today. Um, we get good stuff today too, but I'm saying just how serious people were about quality over quantity in the 50s
yeah.
compared to now. I don't know if you get ads from Temu, but
I
we
don't get
do.
ads from there. I mean, I don't have a big online presence, so
They
um,
they find me. I don't
I
like
don't.
them.
And the only social media that I do is this, and it's only just because of this interest. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing I'm looking at are sketching, drawing, and watercolor stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how do I? Me. Mm-hmm. There you go. If you can see, I'm gonna try to. Um. Hey, sorry, I'm trying to like see my screen. Mm-hmm. There you go. I am slowly just looking at my face and the shadows.
that fall on my cheeks, and that's what I'm trying to put on in really quick. My paintbrush is also too thick, so it doesn't do it justice, but I am roughly just putting it there, and there's a huge shadow falling on my shoulder, um, some on my dress. On my arm, in my hand, my mom's knuckles.
This probably wasn't the best choice of a picture because I'm not really good at anatomy, and since this is a portrait, almost a portrait, it's really
You can always
bad.
switch it. You can find something else, and we can start. We still
No,
have
it's
a.
all right. I mean,
Let me see your image again, if or you can. Let me. mm, Okay. Mm,
you see where I am.
say. Oh, that's great. Don't even get me started. Okay, let's do this really quick. Take a photo of your photo with your cell phone if you can do that, and then just send it to me in the chat or like in the Substack chat if possible.
Right
And I
now.
can, yeah, and I can start drawing it for you. We can draw it together.
Oh, where's my phone?
This is exciting. Ah, we're doing it now. I think it would be just helpful for you to kind of understand what's happening with your image. And that's the only way to do that is for me to actually draw it for you.
Bear with me.
Don't
I'll
take your
try to
time.
figure out how to send this over to you. Let's see. Uh, I'm just gonna send it in this where you had that link to the Zoom. Is that all right?
Yes, that is perfect. That is also private. Nobody will see.
Oh, I don't
I,
care if anybody sees it. I may post it to my Substack. Who knows?
I will write an article and I'll tag you in that article too. So you can
So I'm not finished, but that's where I am. Oh, did you want that the one I'm painting, or you want the photograph?
the photograph.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I want the painting too. Don't get me wrong,
I just
but
sent you the painting because I was
because
not
you're
finished.
excited. Let's see.
There we go.
There you go. Uh-huh. Okay. Now that I have that photo, you can see my pad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure because I'm looking at your photo now and it's blocking my screen. So this is a landscape photo. So we're just gonna perfect. You already measured it to the middle, so we'll do that. Um, it's actually pretty balanced photo. So you see, I'm gonna start focusing on your head first. So I'm just blocking it out quickly. As you can see, I have your mom's hand over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Your shoulder goes into her frame now. So you see how I don't care how the shoulder, if it's not, if it's correct the way it's supposed to be, but I'm just putting it down. Your mom's shoulders are below this line. You see?
Yep.
So I just do that. Her face, her nose is like right in the middle. The line goes right through the middle of her nose. Her chin goes below the shoulders. So we're acknowledging that. So you see how
Yeah.
Yeah. The year is right here. Also, there's a frame behind her head, so we'll draw that frame too. That helps a lot. Then there's a window, I think, in the background with like a light. We'll roughly draw that too. Um, then you have a V shirt, so we'll draw the V. Mom has. There you go. What's happening with her hand? Okay. Her hand is mostly, no, 100% in her frame. We'll just draw it like that, like a stump for now. And now I'm looking, what I try to do is also look as to from what angle you're looking into the frame. Like, are the eyes, am I looking at you from like straight ahead, from above, or from below? I'm looking at you guys straight ahead. So I'm drawing the line a little bit straight on your face. Her head is kind of tilted, so I'm tilting the eyes a little bit. See?
Hmm?
Then the nose below, I'm just making a little like nose mark. You have a beard, so we're acknowledging that. Uh, the middle of your mom's face is closer to the right side because her head's turned a little bit. You are even, so you go straight into the middle. Okay. And then
Hmm?
there's hair, so we're just kind of acknowledging a little bit of hair. Uh, dum-dum-dum. There you go. You have cheeks, so we kind of build a little bit of cheeks from your nose. Your mom the same. Mhm, mhm. There you go. I'm gonna black out what's in the background because just want to have something. I want to feel like your mom's figure is like not floating in space anymore. And I'm also doing the same with your background. It just helps. Okay. Um, uh, you're you're smiling. There you go. Your eyes are over here. Your mom's are over here. Um, there you go. She really is super beautiful. She has really beautiful
Thanks.
features. She has a little hair at the back like that. Okay, getting there.
This would have been in Florida when I was working on my doctorate. So probably 2001 or two or three.
Ah, awesome. You have a lot of stories to tell, I can tell.
Yeah, well, I'm old, so I've lived my full life.
I think it's awesome to have so many stories and so many life lessons to pack in. Cool.
We don't have children, so nobody gets to hear them except for people on the
I'll
internet.
listen. I'll listen. I love it. I will listen. And that's why I really like Substack. I feel like I'm finally starting to meet people that I really love spending time with, and they have similar interests. And it's not based on algorithm, but it's based on just solely like liking people and wanting to connect with them. I'm sure there's tons of scam things there too, but so far I've had a really beautiful experience so far. Okay, this is what I have for a sketch right now. So what I'm gonna start doing now is help you understand how I'm gonna map this image. I'm gonna put in the background first because it kind of helps me. Or there's another technique. I'll show you. Where's large paintbrush? Mm, a lot of the times, if you're thinking of the atmosphere that the people are sitting in the photo, or like the tone, the color of the photo itself, there's a yellow to this photo, so it's a warmth. It's
Yeah,
not a cold temperature. So what I do, I get a warm color and I just brush it all over this.
yeah. I've done that. Actually, I've got a couple pre-done in my sketchbook like that.
Yeah, you know why we do this?
I do that really to bring out, well, like you just said, either a warmth with like a sepia or a cold, with some kind of a blue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess they call it a wash, but I don't know. But it helps with things for me, like doing something that's backlit. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'll do something first in a sort of a sepia, brownish color,
Yep.
and then create, like a really bright spot with a like a lemon yellow or something. It really helps to highlight. I might be able to show you an example if I can find it.
Yeah, why we do that is, of course, figuring out the temperature and also not fighting the white. The white itself is very like distracting to the eye. And it's very hard for us to like understand what is the lightest and what is the darkest. So, um, having a tone, it simplifies things for us visually. There you go. I mean, even just looking at this, I've established um that there's something happening into this, which is really great. And then see there's some shadow forming on your mom's shoulder, so we're gonna put that in. Some underneath her chin, some on her hair. Um, I'm just gently my paintbrush is not really super wet. I actually tap it a little bit on my towel, and but I'm able to kind of graze her skin with my paintbrush without getting it too wet. And if I feel like it's getting too wet, then I tap it a little bit on my towel. There is shadows on her finger and hand. Then there's some shadow forming underneath your chin, to the sides of your nose. Your hair is dark, so we'll put that into shadow on your eyelids, side of your nose, underneath your eyes. Hmm. Oh, a little bit too much. Mm, and I see, I even tested on the side of the,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes like it's good to test it and be like, oh, it's too much. This will definitely be too abrupt. Um, there's shadow right here from her eye to eyelid, a little bit underneath to the side of her eye, beneath, head, some here.
Mm. Well, I don't know where my artwork is.
Oh no. How did you lose that one?
I don't. I have put all these little things in a manila folder, and I don't know where the folder is.
Oh, um,
An envelope, I should say. Oh,
well,
here
good thing
maybe
you.
it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, things are like shaping a little bit. Um, I'm gonna put a light green on your blouse. Shirt, not blouse. Oh my God. I used to live in Seattle, Washington for like 20 years.
Oh, did you?
I did. I'm a US citizen actually.
Excellent.
Yes.
Are you going back to Seattle anytime?
Yeah, I'm actually going in a week. I'm gonna go visit my parents. I'll take my little one with me. I'm leaving my husband behind because he has to work. And I'm staying for 2 months. I'm gonna try to find as many art projects to work on as much as possible.
I was there in '87 for military training at McCord Air Force Base.
That's cool.
I was a C-130 mechanic.
You surprise me every second we talk. That's pretty rad. I don't know what to say besides my husband's a really great mechanic too. He can assemble and disassemble anything in this world.
Well, I can follow instructions, so and the Air Force is good with instruction books.
He's good at winging it. I don't know what, like he just like his brain works in such mysterious ways. I don't work that way. I'm very like I can
I mean, the Air
write and
Force
I
can give you 20 pages on how to put a screw in a bolt in a hole.
oh my God, that would drive me insane. That would uh okay. Hmm,
Yeah, the
okay.
particular I found my envelope, but that picture wasn't in it that I was going to show you. I don't know where I put it. I was going to repaint it again, and I don't know where I stuck it. I like to follow this guy called James Gurney. You ever heard of him?
Maybe. If I see it, I would know. I'm bad with names.
He he's most famous for the illustrated book called Donatopia.
Utopia. No, I want to write this down.
It's a children's book, really. I mean, I guess it could be for an adult too, but you know, it's a fantastical book about dinosaurs living among people. It's not scary, you know, they all live in harmony together, kind of thing. Um, but he was also, I think he was an illustrator for certain things with Disney back in the '70s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's not why I follow him, but he does now. You know, he's probably my age or a little older, but he does a lot of plein air type of paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fascinating to watch him work. And he works in gouache a lot.
Yeah,
So
it's very flexible and very bright. Um, you get a lot of cool stuff out of gouache.
he's got a Substack. He doesn't do a lot on it, but of course he's got a YouTube channel. Um,
Yes. I'll check it. Tell me his name again.
James Gurney,
James G-U R
Gurney.
Perfect. I'll look him up. That's awesome. Thank you for the idea to look him up.
I know you've heard of Thomas Kincaid.
Yes.
He and Thomas Kincaid were art school roommates,
Oh, I see.
and they had you know, they worked together. He's got a very interesting story that he tells a lot about them when they quit art school because of, whatever, politics or something. Who knows? It was the 70s. And they just hopped on trains, like freight trains, and went across the US, just painting and picking
That's
up odd
amazing.
jobs and you know
Yep.
that
I
kind of
mean,
stuff.
I went to art school and I think it's definitely overrated. It's a huge scam in some ways. But I mean, I did get a free scholarship, so
Yeah.
I mean, if it's free, I'll go. So,
Did you go to school in Seattle?
yes, I went to Cornish College of the Arts,
Mm.
um, which is downtown Seattle. And I learned more from the students than I did from the faculty. Uh, I think the
Yeah,
students
that's
were,
that's sad. I know.
yeah, and they just never really prepared you for like making an income as a creative, and it was very disappointing. Um, especially for freshly new adult into the world ready to do something.
Hmm.
We just were not really prepared for that, and it was a very big shock to the system, unfortunately. But I think that was meant to be that way because life works in funny, mysterious ways, and I'm glad that it did the way it turned out. Okay. I'm looking. So I'm already starting to feel pretty good as to where things are at. Now I just have to focus a little bit on the shadows. But again, I'm working really light. You never, with watercolors, if you abruptly just decide that you're gonna put a very intense black, uh, you're making a commitment that that black is gonna stay there. So there's just no, from here, if you work light, you can just keep building and building and building upon it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And again, I always kind of like I get my color with water and then I just tap a little bit my towel and I test a little bit on the paper. Okay, that's enough. So I can actually start putting it down here. And putting the hair. Mhm. The hands. There you go. Mhm.
I went looking yesterday at the thrift store to see if I could find something that I could set my brushes on rather than just laying them on the table. And I
I
came
mean, I
across, I
use.
found a little sort of a ceramic leaf.
Ooh, that's nice.
Um, it's kind of China, made in Japan.
To what?
It's whimsical, but there's enough ridges that it holds the brushes
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
without.
sometimes you need a whimsical brush holder, period. I
Hey,
I don't
it was $1. What can I say?
I mean, I think you found exactly what was necessary. One of the things that I struggle the most with are fingers.
Huh?
So I just break them down as best as I can initially and probably do them last, but I just put them down as tubes to make it the easiest. There you go.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually tried to paint people per se. I mean, typically I just leave them in a sort of abstract shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if they're in the background of a scene or something, but they're not the focus anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
try to give them enough detail that the person's eye can fill it in for themselves.
I know what you mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as you stop looking at them as faces and you start looking at them as shapes, I think that and you practice that mindset, eventually the faces don't become as scary as um they're not as scary as you think it would be. And one of the exercises that I do is I just look in the mirror and I start drawing myself
Mm,
just quickly as best as I can. So now, because see, like you can't actually feel what I'm working on, but because I was working really light with water, um, I actually can take a soft pencil. This is not a soft pencil. I need a 5B, for example. It's soft. So I can actually go in and reestablish some of these shapes a little bit.
right.
If it's a too sharp of a pencil, like a 2B or below, um, you might actually damage the watercolor painting. So I'm just gonna put in a little bit some of these information, like her eyebrow, um, her nose, side smile, her upper lip, her chin. There is a shadow on this side of her face where the ear is. Her hair. Perfect. Mhm. And yeah, if you ever like get a wild idea that you want to paint this like in more detail and you want to like have like an actual finished piece, doing these like reference drawings is what saves you the most. You practice, you realize that you suck at drawing the hand, so you practice that hand posture over and over again. Mhm. You have a sketchbook that you usually work in?
Yeah, I've got several.
Do you
I,
carry any of them with you when you go out?
yeah, I've got a 3x5. What is it? Panhellenic. I can't remember the brand name that I keep in a small bag with a very portable um, palette and a brush or two in a in a car, so
Mm-hmm.
that's always there. I've got
Awesome.
another one that I keep in my backpack that's got a little bit larger Winston Newsom palette in it. Is that the right name? Winston Newsom?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I keep that in there. I have this other one here. I've got tubes also. I found a like 1950s style metal toolbox in the thrift
Oh,
store last week.
awesome.
It's got a tray in it, and anyway, that I keep all my tubes of paint and extra things in it.
That's awesome.
So, and I've got a little folding palette that I handmade myself, and I put it on a tripod to take outside.
That is awesome that you're so prepared. I love it. Like, I wish you were living closer because I would love to tag along.
Well, it's so pretty here, but yeah, this is that palette,
Mm. Uh-huh. Very
and it
cool.
just folds up, and then I can put a tripod in the bottom of it. It's sort of my prototype, but I just made it out of a old clipboard.
Mm.
Put some
Yeah.
magnets in here, and that holds back that Winston Newsom is metal, so it sticks to those magnets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could use a clipped, like this to hold the
Yeah,
sketchbook to the top. Yeah.
that's cool. I love it. You have the whole setup.
Well, since it folds up, it fits in the backpack. It's easy to take that and my stuff and just go somewhere, a park or anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Drop the paintbrush.
I mean, for
Okay.
me, what I want to paint is loose, but
Loose.
then it gets away from me, and I try to. It ends up being a little too tight, and then it gets a little bit just out of control.
Yeah. Can I see what you mean by loose? Do you have anything that I can?
Oh, I wish I could find that folder. Really do. That's driving me crazy because I need that picture back. Um, let's. I may have to get my sketchbook out.
Yeah, do that. More for that.
See, like that's that's like a loose idea, something in the
Mm-hmm.
out the backyard here. Um, that would be kind of an example of loose. This is loose. It's not finished
Uh-huh. Okay, okay.
to me. Because it comes together like that's something that comes together like in 5 minutes, right?
Right.
Let's see. Where's my book?
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of sketches and loose drawings is just to like figure it out, like understand what you're looking at and try to put it down as best as you can. Even more crazy when you're trying to draw something that is in movement. That adds a extra layer of, oh God,
Oh, there
what's
it
happening?
is. So forgetful. Put things together and then I forget where I put them. Let's see what I've got in this book. That's something else that I would consider kind of on a loose.
I love it.
I mean, there's detail, but let the viewer put in their fill in the details.
Mm-hmm.
My other sketchbook's out in the car, my smaller one, that's got a lot of stuff in it, but it'll take too long for me to grab that.
But what you can do is attempt to draw in different styles and find what fits best for you. If loose might be like your way to go, then that's completely fine. Um, I can't seem I work in I attempt to do realistic, like the painting behind me. This one is in this is an oil, the one behind me,
Mhm.
and it's like 20% done. So let it dry. I add more details. I let it dry. And it's not native to me to take it to that level, but I do
Right.
want to try it. I do want to push to see where I can have that sensation of finish. Because somebody did ask me the other day, how do you know when something's done? And I had to like think about it for a second. I was like, well, it's two ways. Either I'm so sick of it, I want to burn it, or there's this like euphoric feeling about it where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, like
that's what I was going
that's
for, right? Yeah.
that's good. Even if it might not be finished in other people's eyes, but you're like, no, 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 like this is it. And there's not many words you can give it. So, and what's really cool about watercolor is that watercolor has this like very, like you said, like a loose, like, oh, like how can you not be happy with this type of movement? You can't get this with oil. I mean, you can, but like it's not the same feeling. It's not the same translucent look to it. So yeah, very cool. Like that. Watercolor, like taking watercolor to full detailed, that I think takes a lot of skill. I think it might be even more complicated than attempting to paint with acrylic or with oil. I think at least. Because
Yeah,
you
it is. It's a challenge. And I've got acrylic paint set here. And like I said, I've got the gouache here. I don't have any oil. I did do an oil portrait that you can't probably see. Let me see. I'll figure out. Turn my camera around. Yeah. There's one, oops, on that wall
Oh, I see it.
here that I did a couple of years ago as a experiment. I don't know if
Oh,
you can
very
see it.
cool. I can see it and I
Oh
really
yeah,
like it.
sorry, I muted. I got you. I can't hear you, but hold on a second. My cable came out when I picked my iPad up. Back in. Okay,
Nice.
there you are.
Well, that's
Okay.
pretty. Yeah, you just flip the camera. That's all you have to do.
But that's the only. Hmm, oh, there it is. Um,
Yes.
that's the only time
Perfect.
I've ever experimented with oil.
Mm-hmm. Watercolors to full detail is challenging because if you're too heavy, too quick, you've missed the mark.
Yep.
Not very forgiving in some ways. So just lightly working it, letting it dry, come back again, work it again, and so on. Like from here, I need to like let some areas to just chill a little bit and then I come back. Mhm. So I hope that was helpful so far and fun.
Yeah, that's good. And like I said, I do sometimes. I do have a air heat gun, so I will paint and then dry.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But yeah, I'm not quite as quite there as you are. But
I really like it though. I honestly really like it. I think the only thing I would say about it is that you looked at a face and you said, I need to draw a face
yeah,
instead of I need to just look for things that are easy to draw. There's not a lot of so for a next reference photo, maybe pick something that's lit, like in a way there's like very intense shadows maybe on the face. So it
right.
just gives you a way, like an easier way to like map it out. Um, but what I could do next time is actually maybe do a portrait image. So I'll give instructions in the group. Um, but just how do you draw a face? How do you map this out without making it look look bad?
Hmm.
I genuinely just look at shapes. I take my mom's face and I I look what of the shape between her nose and her chin. I draw that out. I paint that color in, or I sketch that color in. I look there's a dark cylinder kind of above her ear. I put that in. Um, and I constantly tell myself I'm not looking at a face. I'm just looking at shapes. Nothing more, nothing less. That has been the secret.
That makes and then that's good and that helps. Like I said, I mean, I never did any of this formally
I
until last year or so. So I'm picking up stuff from people on here all the time that I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
It's
That
awesome.
it just makes sense because those people have gone through that. Oh, I don't know what that style of what you're talking about, using basic shapes to
Mm-hmm.
build the foundation first,
Yep.
and then you get to the detail from those basic shapes, and they're so loose. I mean, they're painting like, I mean, they're
Right.
drawing with their hands at the end of their pencil, right?
Let me show you again. Um, can you see this?
Yeah,
So I think I have the photo over here. Oh yeah, I do. So I loosely just put in the lights and the darks, and that's it.
yep,
But you can tell that that's what I was attempting to paint somebody in that posture. And it was just like me, like a line, a squig on the side, just quickly moving my paintbrush
yep.
without overthinking it. The
That's
moment
right.
I start like adding too many like frillies to it is where I my confidence seems to go down.
Yes,
So
that's the same exactly how I am with that. That's what, like I said, I feel more comfortable painting in. I don't want to call it abstract, but it's just loose, but it's formed just enough that you could look at it and say, "Oh, yes, that is a person, or that's a tree, or that's a house."
mhm. I
So
think
I'm
I think you're supposed to be in that stage right now. I mean, if you just recently, like in the last couple of years, picked this up, that's where all of us really start in the journey of creating and drawing. As children, that's where we start. So if
right,
you attempt to jump that phase, I think you're doing yourself a huge disservice because that's part of it.
sure, yeah,
It's and then doing a lot of rubbish art pieces. I say rubbish because I think that's what people think of them. Is really part of having the experience of an artist is making a lot of crappy ones to get to a good one.
right.
So
Um, the oh shoot, it went out of my head. Oh, the veteran community has been super helpful with this process. So there's a lots of organizations that offer workshops and you know, month-long or 6-week-long sessions. That's been very beneficial. And most of them, since they're veteran organized, they're sending out the materials ahead of, for the
Hmm.
class ahead of time. So I've gotten a lot of sketchbooks as a result of that.
Awesome. That's
Um,
really cool.
but yeah, that's been super, super helpful.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
and
100%.
they've been really pretty good. So, but I've been doing both the watercolor when I can find them, and I've also been doing, the pen and ink type sketching.
Mm-hmm. Let me
Uh,
show you really quick too what you can do with gouache. I did these tiny little gouache paintings. Um, so this is in my backyard pretty much, but just mapping out the hills.
mhm.
Like pick, I don't know, pick a couple a simple color palette. What I picked over here was red as like the base, and then I mixed it with a blue, with a yellow, and with a white. So I was just working in that color palette. And I just mapped out the hills, the clouds, and that's it.
Mm.
And just do a bunch of these, whatever you are, and like look at what you're seeing and map it out with like a couple of colors.
I like that sort of that sepia monochromatic paint choices, yeah, that you have, and the
Mm-hmm.
details work out.
Yeah. The gouaches come in handy. Try playing with the gouaches over here. I think you'll get a lot of really beautiful colors. You can also do it in watercolor as well. It'll be more translucent, but if you work from a palette like you have, you might be able to get a darker color like this.
Hmm.
Um, but gouache is interesting. I think you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you think I'm not watching you, but I've got you on a monitor.
Oh, I know you are because my dad does the same thing. So I know like the way you're like acknowledging, I already know what you're doing.
Yeah. So with the big screen over here, I can see all three of our
Perfect.
screens on there, and it's all in one place. But I know it
Yeah.
could be distracting. I don't. My iPad does very well here because, like I said, I'm in
Yeah.
the national forest, and cell phone service is a challenge. I mean, internet's impossible. They don't even run it back here. But I've got the one of these internet
Mm-hmm.
boxes, that's from T-Mobile, but it's not very good for streaming on that computer. So,
Oh yes, I can imagine that. Oh,
but the 5G on my iPad does wonderful, but it's also Verizon, so maybe it's a difference in their
yeah,
tower.
yeah, it could be. Look at this too. Also, it's acrylic, but you could do the same in gouache. So looking at landscape and just like the tree is just like one stroke of the paintbrush, like the water one stroke, the edge of the beach one stroke, and
Yes, that is loose to me, and that's kind of where I want to
exactly
exactly where I want to
loose.
be. But I'll get hung up and try to put a little
Look,
trunk at the bottom of the tree or something, and then before long, I've just got too much.
your paintbrush is depending on what type of paintbrush you're holding, that can dictate the shape that you're leaving behind. So with this painting, I worked solely with a square one.
Hmm.
So I just like tick, chook, chook. Whoosh. That's it. And that's loose, but you're just getting good at putting the information down.
The cloud
Sometimes,
formations are good.
yeah. I mean, I was missing a like a dark, very bright white, so I still have to go back in and put the whites. I had a cream white that wasn't helping me, but yeah,
I
just
mean, you captured that realistic. I mean, I look at cloud formations all the time. I don't paint them very well, but
these
I,
ones over here, these were
yeah,
really fun to make. But to get the fluffiness of a cloud, also is because you use
Where's one?
You use a paintbrush that is dry after you've
Mhm.
painted the whites, and you just kind of like rub in with a dry paintbrush, and it gets this like translucent thing going on around the solid object that you already placed. So it breaks the line.
Mm,
So the paintbrush doesn't have any minerals, spirits in it to make it liquid,
right.
fully dry. And
Totally
it's
dry.
kind of the same concept in watercolors too. So if your painting is wet and you take a dry paintbrush, see what happens. What type of like interesting texture would that leave behind? It's actually kind of drawing, kind of uh taking away some of that moisture off off the painting.
Mm, yeah.
So there's a lot of play between dry paintbrushes and wet paintbrushes, back and forth. And that applies to all mediums. I didn't realize that till later. I was like, oh, is that how you get that fluffiness going on with the oils?
Yeah, I watched a guy the other day on a YouTube channel. I don't remember who it was, but he would take that board and turn it upside down, and he had it on an easel, so there was a little bit of an angle. And the way he did his painted his sky was pretty interesting because he was letting the colors kind of go from blue to white.
No.
Like
Hmm.
he was painting the
Hmm.
horizon and then letting the gravity sort of pull the water down,
Hmm.
and it created really interesting and very lifelike clouds. I thought it was a pretty neat technique because I'm typically painting on a flat surface.
Right,
I'm not painting
right.
on angles.
He's
So
using gravity to dictate some of this. Yeah,
yeah, of
exactly.
course it was like wet on wet, right? He had
Hmm.
wetted the sky, and then he
Yep.
started dropping paint, and
Hmm.
then let
Hmm.
gravity can pull the paint down toward the top,
Yeah.
until it just faded to basically just the white of the paper. But
Yeah.
it gave you all those little fluffinesses that it just
Yeah.
created on its own. He,
Exactly.
he didn't even brush them in. He just let gravity do it.
Gravity and paintbrushes are so underused. I think Bob Ross, it's like so funny because he has a similar background as you do, and he started late in his life to paint. Um, but anyways, he's a master actually at like he wasn't particularly like good at drawing, but he was really good at utilizing the paintbrush and the
Hmm.
shape of the paintbrush and like knowing how to like just zigzag or use a dry one and just he would do this like quick like and it would just be the cloud or the mist would be there and you're like, oh, of course you made a beautiful mist and a happy tree and a happy cloud. Ah.
Yes, I've watched a lot of those over the years, just out of fascination, because it's like, how do you put together this really awesome looking picture in 30 minutes?
Well, and that's something I think they should be teaching what he's doing in school, like quickly learning how to put things down quickly without. He constantly said the same thing. We're
Hmm.
just like going in quick with objects. We're not focusing on like where's I'll show you really quick. This one, this head of a paintbrush, this is really great for grass. So what I
Hmm.
do, I like chop it a little bit more so it's uneven, and then I just like with
Yeah.
and that is grass. I didn't have to try hard. And that's
Well, like
because
you said, it's just the illusion you're creating. So,
the illusion that you're creating and like really understanding the tool that you have in your hand rather than like, oh my God, it's how do I draw leaves? No, you just get a paintbrush that can like kind of mimic a bunch of leaves and then you go for that. And then you work smarter and not
not harder.
harder.
That's right. Touch it once. That's
Yay.
that's always been my motto. Touch it once.
Well, I
Thank
think
you so much.
We've touched on a lot today, and it was awesome. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you.
No, this is good. So I had a men's breakfast scheduled for this morning, but I decided I'd rather do this than deal with those old guys.
Well, and go out and do some little quick paintings or draw from the reference, pick maybe a different photo. Send the photo to me if you pick a different one so I can sketch it too, and I
Okay.
can be of help over text. I will host another free class. I'm not sure of the date yet next month because
Mm.
I have some work to do in Atlanta. Um, but I will be doing some paid art classes as well. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will be doing one art class that is free a month, and I will keep you posted on the date.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet.
Thanks so much, Alex. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I really do mean it. It makes my day to meet up with people from all over the world and do what I love the most.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's been very helpful. I will
okay.
see. I'll keep you in my feed here and I'll look for the next one.
Yes, and send me reference photos and photos of what you've been making because I love seeing it.
Yeah, I've got a Substack that I've whatever created, but I haven't posted anything to it yet. But I'm gonna start posting some of my sketching, not necessarily any pros, just pictures,
Just
to
do
take,
it.
just put it up there. So it'll be there. So I think you've subscribed to that. So
Yeah, I did, and I can't wait to see them and let's start talking about them. I think that it's his time.
yes, that's it. All right. Thanks so much.
Sure. You have a wonderful day. Bye
All right. Bye bye.
bye.